Are you fed up with not improving at swimming? Have you spent countless hours in the water, countless technique sessions, and still you're no better off? Well, I can understand you being just a little bit frustrated by that. I mean, what is the secret? How do you crack it? Well, today, I'm here to try and help you on that. So, the most common thing that I see with people that are struggling with swimming is that they almost end up fighting the water. They thrash their way up and down the pool, but get very little in return for their hard efforts. Now, I can totally understand why this happens. If you are struggling with swimming, you're struggling to improve and maybe struggling to stay afloat to some degree, it almost exacerbates things. Your body kicks in, tries to take over, and you essentially just end up working harder to try and overcome this and try and help it. But unfortunately, it's hard work applied inefficiently. And if you're coming from other sports such as cycling and running, where to a degree the harder you work, the faster you go, I can understand why you might think that same methodology might work for swimming. But swimming is an incredibly technical sport. Due to the drag and the resistance of the water, any bad technique has a huge impact and huge effect on our swimming. So make sure you focus on your technique and try to slow things down, which leads me on to our next point. Focus on one thing at a time. When we're trying to improve our swimming, it can be very easy to fall into the trap of trying to focus on and improve all the different aspects of the stroke at once. We've got the breathing, the rotation, the catch, the pull, the leg kick. It's endless. Now, honestly, nobody, even the best multitaskers out there, which certainly isn't me, can focus on all these different aspects and nail them. And quite often, to be honest, it's just one or two elements of the stroke that are the cause of everything, or a handful of things. So that is where having a good coach can come in really well, as they're able to identify those weaknesses, or failing that, just really slow down the stroke and try to identify that weakness yourself. Let's take the catch, for example, or lack of catch as the case often is. Now, if you're not able to apply that force at the front of the stroke, this can have a knock-on effect in so many ways. It means that you're not able to provide that lift in your stroke. So when you want to breathe, you then need to lift your head higher. That then means that your legs then drop down, and then that can affect how much you can rotate or not rotate. So you can see how it all starts linking together. So make sure that you do focus on one of those elements and really try and nail it before moving on to the next. Well, following on from this, if you are trying to improve your technique, then don't set about trying to do crazily long reps. As you start to fatigue, naturally, your technique will start to deteriorate. And the last thing you want to be doing is reinforcing bad technique over the course of a long rep. So focus on doing shorter reps, shorter blocks, where you can really focus on that good quality, good technique for short periods of time. Stop, recover, reset, and then off you again with good technique, good quality work. Equally, there's absolutely no shame in stopping partway through a longer rep if you feel like your technique is deteriorating, if you're really serious about improving your swimming. Okay, and are you holding your breath? This one is a biggie, one that so many people do. You basically take a breath and then literally just hold that breath right up until the next breath. Just try doing that whilst you're sat watching this video. Take a breath, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, release it quickly, then take a next breath and keep doing that. It's a really unusual and uncomfortable feeling, and oddly, actually can make you feel more out of breath as you're left exhaling really quickly, snapping to take a next breath and doing that over and over again. It can also create a lot of tension in your upper body as you're holding that breath, which restricts the movement of your arms and that all important catch that I was talking about just before. And also, because you're holding that air in your lungs, it can make your chest more buoyant, and that can affect your body position in the water. So rather than holding your breath, try trickling it throughout the stroke, either through your nose and or your mouth, and keep it as smooth as possible. And then, contrary to my previous advice, some people are actually just too slow and gentle with their stroke. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should be thrashing your way down the pool, because the difference here is that they may have a pretty good technique, but they're just not being assertive enough with their hand entry, their catch, and so on. And that will mean that they essentially end up almost sinking between pools. Now, if you think about it, if you have your arm extended out in front of you in that nice strong position, ready to catch the water, the other arm recovering over. Now, if that recovering arm is taking too long, it's very hard to hold that strong position. And what often ends up happening is the arm starts drifting down through the water, or the elbow buckles, and you basically lose that catch altogether. And as I've mentioned already, it's a very important part of the stroke. It gives you lift in the water. So you have all sorts of knock-on effects to this. So of course, I'm not suggesting that you should be thrashing or muscling your way down the pool, but just try to keep those arms moving and applying pressure on the water throughout. Okay, final couple of points. Head position. Now this can have a huge impact on our movement and our body position in the water. If we tilt our head just a little bit to the left, we will start to move left. If we look up and start looking forwards, our legs will start to sink. Now these are obviously all things we want to avoid, so try to keep your head in a nice neutral and natural position. Now I normally recommend start by looking directly down at the ground below you, and then allowing your head to position itself naturally itself. Now for me, that means looking down at the ground around 2 to 3 meters in front of me. That allows me to keep this nice natural neutral position without creating too much tension in my shoulders. And then finally, something that isn't often talked about and discussed, but is probably quite obvious when I start to explain it, is the fact that swimming is a full body thing. It's all interconnecting. You can have fantastic arms, fantastic pull, you can have a fantastic leg kick, but if your core that connects all of that together isn't engaged and working, then it can all fall apart or simply just not be as effective. Now obviously this is something that you can work on in the water, trying to engage your core, but equally this is something that you can practice and work on dry land. So yeah, get stuck into some strength and conditioning exercises, focus specifically on swimming and trying to get those things working and engaged. And if you'd like some help with this, we do have a video on it already. I'll pop that in the description just down below. But that is it. Hopefully this has helped you today and given you some pointers to help you try and improve your swimming. If you have any more questions, please do drop them in the comment section down below. If you've enjoyed today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and we've got tons more videos like this. If you'd like to catch them, make sure you subscribe to the channel. To do that, just click the icon, the logo just down below. And yeah, thanks for watching.